Welcome back everyone. In this video we're going to learn about squares and square roots. We will also be discussing some of its properties. Let's get started. So, what is the definition of square? The definition of square is when a number is multiplied by itself. Okay, so the number is multiplied by itself. We say that the number is squared. Okay, for example, let's say we have a number x. Okay, it may be any number. Now when it is multiplied by itself means we'll have to multiply it with x. So x into x is x squared. So let us look at some examples. Let's say we have a number 3 multiplied with itself. So 3 into 3 means 3 squared. Now 3 into 3 is 9. So 3 squared will also be equal to 9. Similarly, 69 into 69 means 69 squared. So 69 squared will be 69 into 69, which is 4761. Okay, 13 into 13 means 13 square. Now we all know 13 into 13 is 169, so 13 square will be 169. So now let us look at squares of rational numbers. Now if we recollect, rational number means a number that can be represented in the form of a by b, where a and b are integers and b cannot be equal to 0. So squares of rational numbers would mean a divided by b whole thing squared. So this can also be written as a square by b square. Now a square, we know it means a into a, number multiplied with itself. Similarly, b square would mean b into b. Let us discuss some examples. Okay, so let's say we have 13 by 12 squared. So this is a rational number as a and b, that is 13 and 12, are integers and b not equal to 0. So this would mean 13 square by 12 square. Now we know 13 square means 13 into 13, 12 square means 12 into 12. 13 into 13 is 169, 12 into 12 is 144. Similarly, minus 3 by 4, 4 is not equal to 0, so this is a rational number, is nothing but minus 3 into minus 3, because minus 3 square is minus 3 into minus 3 and 4 square is 4 into 4. Now minus 3 into minus 3 is 9. Minus 3 into minus 3 means minus minus plus, and 3 into 3 is 9. So plus 9, we can just write 9. Okay, 4 into 4 is 16. So we will get 9 by 16. Similarly, if you have minus 1 by 17 squared, it would mean minus 1 into minus 1 divided by 7 into 7. So minus 1 into minus 1 equal to 1. 7 into 7 equals 49. So we will get 1 by 49. From here we understand that square of any negative number is always positive. Okay, so if you square any number, it will be positive, because if it has a minus sign, then you will have to multiply it with itself, that is minus sign again, and we all know minus minus is always plus. So in no condition you will get this to be negative. Hence, square of any negative number is always positive. Now, squares of some numbers is given on the left hand side of your screen. Please refer to that table, okay, for understanding these properties of square numbers. Now, property number 1. In square numbers, the digits at unit place are either 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. So if you look at the table, all the squares of numbers end with either 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9. None of the squares, they end with 2 or 3 or 7 or 8. Let us look at the second property. Okay, now the second property can be divided into 5 sub properties. Okay, let's look at the first one. If a number has 1 or 9 in its units place, then its square ends in 1. Okay, let's take example to understand this. For example, 1 square. 1 square is 1, so the end digit is 1. Let's say 9. So 9 square is 81. The end digit is again 1. 11 square is 1 to 1. Again the end digit is 1. 19 square is 361. Again the end digit is 1. 21 square 441. End digit is 1. 29 square 841. End digit is 1. So if we have 1 or 9 as our end digit, and if we square them, then we will definitely get our last digit in the answer to be 1. The second property is if a number has 2 or 8 in its units place, then its square ends in 4. Okay, example, 2 square is 4, 8 square is 64, so you see it ends in 4. 12 square is 144, again ending with 4. 18 square is 324, again ending with 4. 22 square is 484, again ending with 4. 28 square is 784, again ending with 4. So if the number ends with 2 or 8, we can see that the square always ends with 4. Let us now discuss the third property of property number 2. Now if a number has 3 or 7 in its unit place, then its square ends in 9. For example, 3 square is 9, so it ends with 9. 7 square is 49, again it is ending with 9. 13 square is 169, end digit 9. 17 square 289, okay, end digit is 9 again. 23 square is 529, again the end digit is 9. 27 square is 729, again the end digit is 9. So if we have 3 or 7 as our ending digit, then if we square those numbers, then we will get 9 as our units digit in the answer. Let us now discuss the fourth subproperty of property 2. If a number has 4 or 6 in its unit place, then its square ends in 6. Example, 4 square is 16. 6 square is 36. 14 square is 196. 16 square is 256. 24 square is 576. 26 square is 676. So here we see that all these numbers, they end with 4 and 6, but their squares always end with 6. Okay, so conclusion. From here we can conclude the second property in one line. That is, if the number ends with 1 9, then its square will end with 1. 3 7, its square will end with 9. 2 8, its square will end with 4. 4 or 6, its square will end with 6. Now there is also a fifth property. Alright, now this property is slightly special than any other property. Okay, the property is if a number has 5 in its unit place, then its square also ends in 5. Okay, so why is it special? Because we have only one number here. Alright, here we had two numbers in every case, but here we have only one number. Okay, example, 25 5 square, 2 to 5 15 square. Okay, now let us look at the third property. A number which has odd numbers of zeros at the end is never a perfect square. Okay, so to understand this property, let us first understand what is perfect square. perfect square? A number which is the square of some other number. Okay, for example 4. We know that 4 is square of 2, right? Because 2 square means 2 into 2 is 4. Okay, similarly 49. 49 is 7 squared, as 7 into 7 is 49. Okay, so these numbers, they are called perfect square. So in all these examples, these numbers, alright, they are called perfect square. Okay, but 32 is not called a perfect square. We do have a square root of 32, but the number will be in points, or will have a decimal point in the answer. Okay, hence we don't consider these to be perfect squares. Okay, now that we have understood what is perfect square, let us understand this third property. Alright, so to understand this, let us take an example. Okay, let's say 1 square is 1, 10 square is 100, 100 square is 10,000, and 1000 square is 10 lakh. Okay, so in all these examples, you see these are called your perfect squares. Why? Because they are squares of these numbers. Okay, and they don't have points, obviously. Now it is to be understood that this has 2 zeros, whereas this has 4, and this has 6 zeros. Okay, but they are the squares of 10, 100. Okay, now 10 has only 1 zero, whereas 100 has 2 zeros, so there's nothing in between. Okay, and if you look in this case, between 1 and 100 we have 10. Okay, now since this 10 lies between 1 and 100, that means the square root of 10, or the number whose square is 10, will lie in between here. Okay, but in between 1 and 10 we don't have any number of this kind, 1 and then followed by 0, right? Because this is 10, and if you remove it, it becomes 1. Okay, please understand this concept. If you didn't understand this, rewind the video and try to understand this. Similarly for 1000, and let us dive into some numericals now. So first one, find the value of 18 square. So how we do it is, we write the question 18 square. Now square of 18 is equal to 18 square, which is equal to, as we have discussed, 18 into 18. Now 18 into 18 is 3 into 4. Okay, you can do it in the rough. Okay, let's do the sixth question of number 1. Find the value of 496 square. So now square of 496 is equal to 496 squared. We know 496 squared means 496 into 496. So we have the answer to be 246016. Again, you can multiply these two numbers in the rough. Let us now look at how to find the squares of rational numbers. Okay, so let's do first question of number 2. So find the square of 3 by 8. Now square of 3 by 8 is equal to 3 by 8 whole thing square. If we split the square, we get 3 squared by 8 square. Now we know 3 square is 3 into 3, 8 square is 8 into 8, 3 into 3 is 9, 8 into 8 is 64. Let us do one more question, number 6, where we have to find the square of 31 by 40. Similarly, now square of 31 by 40 is equal to 31 by 40 whole thing squared, which is equal to 31 square by 40 square. Okay, now 31 square is 31 into 31, 40 square is 40 into 40. 31 into 31 is 961, 40 into 40 is 1600. Okay, let us now discuss how to find the squares of negative numbers. Okay, so let's take an example, minus 3 squared. Okay, so now square of minus 3 is equal to minus 3 square. Okay, now minus 3 square means minus 3 into minus 3. So here minus into minus is plus, and 3 into 3 is 9. Okay, so from here we understand that first we have to multiply the sign, okay, and second we have to multiply the numbers. Fine. So let's see another example. Minus 2 by 3 whole thing squared. Okay, so square of minus 2 by 3 is minus 2 by 3 whole thing squared. Minus 2 square means minus 2 into minus 2. 3 squared means 3 into 3. Now again, minus minus plus, so we don't need to write. 2 into 2 is 4. In the denominator we have 3 into 3, so 3 into 3 is 9. Let us now see how to find the squares of negative numbers with decimal. So let's do number 3, number 7, minus 0.6 square. Okay, so minus 0.6 square, we have to convert this 0.6 into rational form, means a by b. Okay, let's see how to do this. So first of all, we write this number without the decimal. So without the decimal it's 0.6, so we'll simply write 6. Okay, then divided by 1. Now we will count how many digits are there after this decimal. Okay, so after the decimal we have one digit, so we write simply 10. Okay, now so it becomes minus 6 by 10 square. Okay, now this is the question that we have already seen in the previous part of the video. So minus 6 into minus 6 divided by 10 into 10. Now minus 6 into minus 6 is 36. Minus minus plus, 6 into 6 is 36. 10 into 10 is 100. Let us look at one more question. Number 3, number 5. Okay, minus 0.3 square. So minus 0.3 square, first of all we'll have to convert this 0.3 into rational form, that is a by b. So minus 0.3, you have to write it first without the decimal, so 3. Then again we write 1. Okay, then we have to count how many numbers are there after the decimal. So after the decimal there's only one number, so we write only 10. Then we know how to solve this. Okay, so minus 3 by 10 square means minus 3 into minus 3 divided by 10 into 10. Now minus 3 into minus 3 means minus minus plus, so we don't need to write. 3 into 3 is 9. 10 into 10 is 100. With this we come to an end. We'll be discussing more properties in the next video. Practice as many questions as you can from the examples. Alright, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care everyone.